We're now listening to Wealthy Sisters Radio Show. We're now listening to Wealthy Sisters with Deborah Hartnett.
Well, hello, and welcome to Wealthy Sisters Radio with a View. I am your host, Deborah Hartnett, and you know what I'm about to say. I am super grateful and super excited to be sharing this space and time with you today. You know how much I value you, and I don't take it lightly that you decided to join in and tune in on what we have to share with you today. And it is going to be another powerful, packed show. Yes, indeed, because you know our purpose. It is twofold. We have to make sure that the first thing that we provide inspiration and encouragement to you, our listeners, right? We want to make sure that you know that you can see others doing it. And if you can see others doing it, you can do it too. Secondly, we must, and I just cannot say it enough, it is imperative, especially today, to show, to provide that platform, to prove and to let everybody know that sisters out here are doing some incredible things, that we are multifaceted, multidimensional, and we can do more than sing and dance. I'm telling you, to earn income. And this woman that I have on the show today, oh my goodness. Let me just give you a snippet. She is none other than serial entrepreneur, author, motivator, speaker, champion of business ownership. She's phenomenal, multi-talented, multifaceted, Miss Twyla Garrett. Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Deborah.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I love the intro, Mama. I love it. Thank you for all the blessings. And thank you for the platform. Thank you for your intellectual properties that have allowed you to take this platform to a whole nother level. So I thank you. And I hope today everyone that is listening gets something out of these messages, and actually they reach out and realize you're just one step from that blessing to move forward to a whole nother type of life, whole nother type of world. So thank you in advance.
Oh, see, it's already there. You could feel it in her voice when she said thank you and talking about it's a whole nother world. You know, this is not, it is. And I cannot wait to dive into you sharing that whole nother world, because it's nothing like travel and exposure, right? That can educate. You remember you grew up and you thought everybody buttered their bread the same way like your mama did, or your grandmama, or whoever was raising you, and you realize that they might put it on both sides of the bread. It's a different world out here.
It is. My story is so different. It's so unique. You know, I'm going to apologize up front. I have a little cold, so it's kind of maybe going to come through, but my voice is normally deep anyway. But yeah, my story has definitely been a journey that I think others need to hear, because most people think that, you know, I came out this way, and it was not that. It's not been that case. So my journey is different.
Yes, well, you know,
and I think when you hear it, you'll recognize how blessed I've been. Go ahead, Switzerland.
No. We just had a little delay. Go ahead. We don't want to interrupt what you were saying. Continue.
No, what I wanted to say is that I think a lot of times people don't understand everybody's journey. They think they just woke up that way. And I think a lot of times, especially for African American women, you got to understand it's been a journey, a struggle, and we're still in it. We're still in the
That's
fight. We're
right.
still in the journey. It doesn't stop. And we still have to be able to figure out how we persevere through the whole entire thing. So I'm so excited to talk to you today. I'm so excited to see your crowd. Hopefully we can get some questions. And if not, then, people can follow me and ask me any questions that I want. It's about being transparent. What God has taught me is that you got to share it, good, bad, and the ugly. And that way people will know that they can be receptive, and also they know that they can relate. A lot of people think, oh, Twyla, I can't really talk to you. Yeah, you can. You can talk to me. Look, I'm a street kid. Came from the city of Cleveland. I'm a street kid, have never changed. Changed, though, is my circumstances, and that's because I put the work in to get there. So I'm unapologetic on my success, and I will
All right.
never apologize for that.
All right. Well, see, I want to get back to why you won't apologize for that. So we're going to hold that thought right there. With so many that I should be able to write down quicker than what you were saying there. But you talked about this is what we see today, and that's what we hear at Wealthy Sisters. We like to say, were those ingredients? Those secret ingredients that went into the beautiful recipe that we see today. Talk to us about that journey. If you could just introduce the
Sure.
audience to, so they'll know, because women are, like you said, right where you were. There are some sisters right now where you were that feel like, no, they stumbled on the show and they feel like, no, this is not for me. I could never be this. But tell them your story, sis.
Well, stay tuned, because here's the thing. So I grew up in the city of Cleveland in the hood. I'm a street kid. We grew up very impoverished. And unfortunately, I didn't have a mother that was a nurturing mother. My mother stabbed me. I was taken away from my mother at 14, ended up with my father, who I didn't know. And that's how my journey started. It started with a life of abuse. But the one blessing that I got when I was with my mom is the busing system. So I'm a product of busing, right? And in the hood, in the projects, you didn't see green grasses, you didn't see garages, you didn't see houses. You saw a tenement building with some concrete, right? You might saw a couple of spots of grass, but it never was any playground to play in. So what busing did for Twyla is it put me on a bus, moved me to the other side of town where all the white individuals live. And I got a chance to see how individuals live totally different than me. And so I always took the window seat on the bus because I always wanted to see what was out there. And that to this resides and resonates in me. I left my mom, ended up with my dad. My dad had two rules: go to church, go to school, right? But he worked at night, so he wasn't really there. My little hustle mentality, after seeing, wow, there's houses with garages and there's houses that don't look like ours, and there's houses with grass and kids out playing, it made me want to have that. And so part of that was, okay, one thing my mother did say is that you're going to get your grades. You're going to stay in school. You ain't coming out here looking crazy. So I became out. I graduated with my dad, went to college, went to an all-girl school that really molded me. I wasn't Catholic. I didn't even know God. Had no idea what spirituality meant. And so when I went to this all-girl college, we probably had maybe 8% blacks. They didn't look like me. We were really that token that everybody wanted to see could pass to get these grades. What I did is I immersed myself. I knew there was something better, and that school shaped me. To this day, I have multiple degrees, but that school, Ursuline College, made me pretty much them today, because they taught me, those nuns, those PhDs, those professors, especially Dr. Katz. He was one of my business professors. He taught me about business. He taught me about that there's something else out there. Dr. Flood was my accounting professor. He taught us how to run books and run and manage books and what a book and a business looked like. I believe at that time he had businesses that he was an accountant, and he was running businesses and books for people that were about $30 or $40 million businesses. So to me, when I came out of college, a $30 million business wasn't unheard of, because I was helping balance in books as an intern. So it just became one of those blessings where I knew I could do more and knew I wanted more. And so I needed to apply myself. And look, we're not going to, sugarcoat it. It's obvious we got to dance a little differently. We got to put out more. The to say, well, why do I have to do more than the average white person sitting beside me? Because that's just right now what you have to do. Doesn't mean you can stay in that realm. So, but
Right.
what did is it gave me the tenacity to keep on competing. It gave me that tenacity and that hard core mentality that I can't stop. Why stop? Because if I stop, I'm stopping and quitting on myself. So the only person I had to prove something to became me, became Twyla. And so as I competed with myself, I always made sure I ran that race and I tried to be the number one or two. And I think that's one of the things that I see in this new generation of kids is they don't understand how to fail. You know, everybody gets a trophy. I don't believe in everybody gets a trophy because everybody, it's got to be a loser and a winner. Because when I was the loser, it made me compete better to become the winner. And so you got to be able to move into that realm, and you've got to have that mentality about how you will transcend from being that loser to that winner. And when you get there, how the hell do you stay on top? And how do you make sure you know when you get in it, how to get the hell out of it when it's time to do so?
When it's time to
So
do
that's
so.
been my call to not just glory in God. I found God. I knew that my blessing was to make sure I stay good to that book, but also true to myself, and that my blessings will come. And here's the biggest thing: patience. Right? This microwave generation we're in right now, where they can hit a button and want it in 10 minutes and 30 seconds, is a fallacy. You have to wait for it. You got to build to it. And it might not come when you want it, but you know God's going to be right on time. And when it is on time, it might not look like you wanted it to look, but you got to be able to accept what you get and then be able to say what you're going to get out of it, right? And how you're going to make that better for yourself. So I challenge everybody that's listening to make sure you understand that race. If you're not in a race, then you're not really doing anything. And that race don't need to be between your neighbors, it needs to be within you. I always, into this day, I always know I'm a PhD in being poor. I was poor a lot of times in my life. I got a PhD in being poor. Okay, I know what that means. So I keep that mentality. I keep that mentality, sister, because you know why? Because if I always think I'm one check from being poor, that means I'm going to bust my ass to keep on moving to make sure I am not going to be in that category for long. So people have to make sure they understand how to be and trick their mind to keep them motivated. I am spiritually blessed. I'm right now, I'm at a conference. I'm going into a WeBank conference, and it's several thousands of women business executives that's going to march.
I love WeBank. I've not been in years. Where is it this year?
It's in Atlanta.
Where is it?
It's in Atlanta.
Oh my gosh,
it's in your backyard, baby. It's in your backyard. Come on down. I'll meet you for some drinks later on. I'm going to be at the marquee. Let's have some drinks tonight. But part of it is you go in with a goal. I'm going in with WeBank to find 5 key people that I can do business with. And once I get those individuals, I'm going to nurture them. I'm going to cultivate them, and then I'm going to deliver. And here's the thing: not only deliver, but I'm going to over deliver, because I'm going to make sure at the end of the day that they want me back, they call me back, and they keep me engaged.
Yes. So, I miss it. I used to attend that conference every year.
Yeah, it's right in your backyard.
When I was up in the DMV area. So definitely, I'm gonna reach out to you after the show for sure.
Yeah, please do.
Yes,
please do. Absolutely.
Yes. So and what you talked about the unapologetic. So I don't even have to. I mean, if anybody was paying attention to what you were saying, they could understand and see that you are unapologetic. But I'd like for you to expound on what you mean by that. But before you do, I heard you say, proving to Twyla that you were only competing with yourself. And something you talked about, which I think it's a lot of things that we can't say today, right? It's everything is upside down. It's too many. It's everything is upside down. What was right
somebody on one
is now is wrong. Right. And what was wrong is now is right. And one of those things is understanding how to fail, understanding that there is life and there is death. Like, people have serious challenges when a loved one leaves, when something dies, when something ends. Like, you saw what happened to people during the pandemic. They were freaking out because they were inside and couldn't deal with themselves, didn't know how to be with themselves.
They didn't like themselves. And that was a reality check. If you couldn't be alone by your damn self for a year, then you got a problem. means you
Right.
need to sit and
Exactly.
check you, not anybody else. The only thing that didn't do well for you is that you had to go outside to get affirmation from someone else. You need to be giving yourself that affirmation. And that, and I tell people all the time, COVID was a blessing for me. It gave me the opportunity, even though my business didn't shut down. We were considered essential, so we still had to build within the pandemic, which made it very difficult because we had several of our employees with the virus and several challenges. Clients don't care about deadlines being slipped; they want it now, right? But at
Right
the end of
now.
the day, right, they want it now. They paid for it 3 years ago. They didn't care about COVID then, and they don't care about COVID now. Well, here's the thing. COVID gave everybody the opportunity, those who had to be stuck in, an opportunity to really reflect. If you didn't really take some time to understand, are you in the right job? Are you in the right house? Are you in the right marriage? Are you in the right relationship? Are you okay with you? Are you okay with God or whoever you pray to or worship to? Are you okay? And we were such a go-getting society that we never took the time to sit down and think about it.
Right. Right.
And so people didn't like when that mirror came into their face and like, oh, I don't like who I am. Well, if you don't like who you are, then you need to start doing what you need to do to start liking you. Nobody's going to want to be around you or like you until you love yourself. And so
Exactly.
self-love, I am unapologetic because I used to initially had to hide my successes. I remember this was I bought a vehicle years ago when I was running a company, and it was a Twyla made it kind of vehicle, right? And I remember my client, an African American client, says to me, "Oh, I must be paying you too much. I need to cancel your contract because I don't like what you're driving." No, you just hating because your ass ain't driving it. You didn't make this. I had this car before you ever did anything. Your contract came to play. I thought I bought this 2 months before I even knew you. But see, that was the hater mentality that somebody else was looking at what I had, hating on it, because how can this chick
Right.
do it? And I didn't do it, and I'm just a government
Right.
worker, and this girl is getting this money. I mean, come on. At the end of the day,
Right.
you need me before I need you. And so I'm
Right.
not going to
Right.
apologize. I'm not going to hide my success. I'm not going to put it in your face, but I'm not going to hide it because here's the thing. God gave me this blessing for a reason for me to
Thank you.
share with some people that I want to
Thank
share
you.
with and some other people that can just sit on the sideline and watch. If you hating on me, at least you talking about me. That means I've done something right because a hater ain't going
Something
to talk
right.
about something unless they got something to talk about. So I'm even giving you something to talk about. So I love my haters and I love my lovers. At the end of the day, you can hate on me all you want, but it will not phase me a bit.
A bit. And you said something powerful there in being unapologetic. And who is that? Marianne Williamson. And I say like Marianne Williamson. Her quote that a lot of people think that our South African leader
Okay.
Nelson Mandela said it, but how it was in one of the movies. How don't let your light dim. Don't let your
Yes.
light. I have to get that quote. It's running in my mind. Dim to others. Don't hide, like you said, your
You
success
don't want
to
to hide.
others. Don't
You should not ever.
shortchange your success.
That's right.
Don't downgrade who you are. And we do that, and it is a fight. It
Well,
is
you
a
know why we
struggle.
do that? Because we still
Yeah.
have other individuals, other races that want to see you in a subpar role. And
Right. But
they
then you
want
talked
you to
about
cow
within.
down. They want you to bow down. They want you to be,
Right.
even in construction. When I first entered in construction, I said, there's no way. This was like a slave master mentality relationship where everybody that looked like me was cleaning up toilets or cleaning areas. They weren't pouring the concrete. They weren't building the building. They were actually sitting there menial while the white man truthfully looked over them like this was some slave master mentality. I refuse to promote that nonsense. I'm not putting my people can build a building, my people can do carpentry. They can do these trade jobs. They got to be taught. And the reason they're
Right.
not taught is because you don't want them in that space. It's not
Right.
because,
Right.
it's one of these situations where you can go to the best neighborhood. The reason you don't see us is because you priced us out so we wouldn't get in it. It's not because we can't afford to be in it. You priced us out so we won't get in it because it's security when they don't have you in it. I am, on the other hand, I break those barriers and I find my way in it. So you now have to deal but the fact that you got something that you've been running from all your life sitting right beside you. Deal with it.
That's it.
I
That's it.
refuse to be unapologetic about where I'm at, where I want to be. I had a young lady, a realtor, that was to show me property. And I told her what my criteria was. I need to be safe. I want to be in a place where I know I can walk the streets at night, hit the beach at night. Make sure you take me to the right area. Well, what I saw was something that looked like Sanford and Son. And I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm staying over here. Where did this come from? Well, you assume because I look like this is where I want to be. No, you got this
Right.
twisted. So now we need to recalibrate your thinking and tell me where the people look. I don't give a damn they look like me or not. Where do the safe people live? Where are the people that when I call the police in minutes or seconds, they walking down that street coming to get you? Well, and frankly, there was nobody.
What did she
that
say?
looked like me.
I know you said that to her
She looked at me
directly.
like I was a little crazy for a minute, went back to that computer and took me to the area in which I bought in, and now I'm the only black person sitting in the neighborhood, which is fine with me, because I know if I dial 911, they're going to be coming because they know this neighborhood better bring some people. But here's the thing, I'm going to have to show that, hey, I got plenty of people that look like me, and I'm going
Right.
to bring them into that fold so you can see.
Right.
I don't know why you're afraid of me. I should
Right.
be more afraid of you than anything. So
Right.
at the end
Well,
of the day, you have to be where you want to be. Don't let somebody put you in a different box. I'm never going to be boxed or caged by anyone. Anyone. I'm too old for that. I'm beyond that. And at this point in my life, I'm going to live it unapologetic to you. If you don't like it, then get the hell out of my way.
exactly. You know, and it is true that we deal with two parts to that. Like you said, you know, dealing with, you know, our counterparts. Yes, you have that mindset. You know, look, this is who I am. The reason why I do this show, to show that we are not all that you see that's promoted in the media. One of the worst things, and I will say it publicly, and maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to say it. I'm from Atlanta, and I am born in '69, and I grew up here when Atlanta was a place to grow up, where people moved to Atlanta because of what they were able to see the black people doing, owning their own businesses ahead of time, right? I grew up seeing that. That's all I saw. We had the AU Center here, all the black colleges, so it was cool to be smart and intelligent. But now, with the onset of all these shows, those, you know, those real shows, the real this or the real that, and people think, no way am I in acting, nor do my friends, nobody I know behaves in that manner, you know. So I have this platform to show that, you know, there are different type of black women out here and who are focused, and also my brothers too, but dealing within,
that's the show that you need to be pitching. Remember, that's the show you need to be pitching. You need to pitch a reality show that's reality, not something made up where you got petty arguments being spewed upon each other. Everybody's sexualized. Everybody's breasts out. You got to go get the breast lipo.
I'm gonna tell you, they don't want it. I'd have to do it my own. I have to do it on my own. They don't want it, because I've had, over the years, I've had several opportunities from dating shows before when I was single, from other shows, so, you know, concept shows that they have on the air now that they wanted me to get. I had a group of my friends that, you know, we had to do a interview and all that, and that all they wanted to know was, well, who's the nasty one in the group? Who's the this and this? It's like, what? that's not.
Pitch it to Oprah's network. Pitch it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big proponent. I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, you know, I watched over the last couple of days because I was getting over this cold. I watched Black Love, and that was a great series about us and these individual interviews about love. And, you know, pitch it to Oprah's network. Because, see, here's the thing. People want sensationalism. We know it. That's what's going to get the ratings and all that craziness. But they also need to see the real sisters. The real sisters that can communicate with each other, have a great time, cultivate a relationship, still go out and have that party and that swag going on, and not have to be catfighting, or throwing your
Right.
boob on the table or getting your butt
Right.
lifted up 5 levels. I mean, we ain't got to go through all that. It ain't. We want to be beautiful. I mean, at the end of the day, and Black sisters is beauty. We don't crack. So we want to be,
Right.
we want to look beautiful. We're going to bring it all the time anyway. But that's not what the business is about. Let's talk about
Right.
how we made millions, how we've been successful, and how we going to keep it in a generational wealth type of aspect and move this legacy. And then go back and reach and grab 4 or 5 other people, especially from the hood
Absolutely.
or individuals and bring them up and bring them up. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a show
Absolutely.
out there for somebody to watch. You just got to pitch it to the right network. It might not want to be on mainstream. It might not want to be on any of that. But at the end of the day, I think once you get an audience, you're going to get an audience to go to say, yeah, I can relate to that. That's real life. Because a
That's
lot of
real life.
reality shows, you can't relate to that. I mean,
No, you can't.
some of that is just crazy. It's
It's
just like,
crazy.
okay. And that they're pitting people against each other and they want to see that dynamic and they want to see those spars because it's got to be crazy. And here to my Black sisters, they already think we can't get along. Don't give them the reason to
Don't give
promote
them.
the
Stop
craziness.
watching it.
They
I'm
always
saying
think,
stop watching
they
it.
always
Yeah.
think that we can't put a bunch of Black women because the crabs in the barrel going to try to take it down.
Right.
No, that's not
Right.
the case. It's the case
That's
when they
right.
start pitting craziness and throwing men in that's gonna be sleeping with multiple people and trying to figure out whose sister they sleeping with on top of their mother, and who
Right.
cares? That makes no sense because you can't take none of
Yeah.
that to no grave. You ain't putting that in a trust, and you're not moving that into no generational wealth. It's just
Exactly.
nonsense.
Well, you said it. And now on the other side, that other spectrum with dealing when we talk about being unapologetic. You just, if you could give 2 tips, because like I said, we could do it on our counterparts. That's cool. But when it comes within our community,
Yeah.
like you said, the sister said to you, I must be paying you too much, when you got your car. How
Yeah.
do we deal with the psyche of go ahead and just advance on and don't feel like, you have to have, or you got to hide from what,
Well,
from your people.
from your own people. Now, let me say this.
Yeah.
Some of us, you want to hide your stuff because they just want too much up. People don't want to get what they can get out of, right? So I do
Right.
have some
Right.
anonymity and some privacy around what I do and who I am.
Right.
Look, here's my thing. I'm a street kid. Gang recognizes gang. I already know when you're coming for something, right? So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be on your P's and Q's, but you got to
Yes.
be just as open and honest to that next sister or brother that might have some hate, that might be
Right.
upset that they didn't. I wish I could, but I didn't. My mama did this, I didn't. It is nobody excuses but your own. I can have the excuse. My mother whooped me, beat me. My brother ran away. It was a terrible household. I could be using that excuse as my entire grade. Oh, was twice. I don't use it. I love my mother to the day she died. Paid for her funeral, and she didn't. At the end of the day, I'm her daughter. So I have I give no sympathy, to people who want to sit back, and especially our folks, and ridicule or berate or talk about, if that person hustled to get what they had, applaud that hustle. Maybe if you ask me a question, I can help you get your hustle. I know I hire a lot of ex-offenders, and a lot of these ex-offenders are geniuses. They just one deviation from really being in business by themselves on a legit business. But a part of it is their pride. I think Black folks' pride stands in our way most of the time. Instead of hating on me, why don't you ask me what I did? Why
How
don't
do
you
I do it?
ask me,
Right.
is there a way to do it, or could you mentor me? Come to
Right.
me with a plan that might be something that I might endorse. And that's where I
Right.
think we have to be more focused. Don't apologize. I'm not going to apologize for my success, but I will help you if you sincere, legit, and you're going to put the work in. Don't think I'm gonna give you something, because I'm not gonna spoon feed you. You're gonna have to bust and do the same chores that I'm doing now and did then in order to make sure you move it. Because at the end of the day, the best success, when I can get at one of my places and relax and go, thank you, Jesus, I can say it without any regrets, without any mistakes, without any errors, and without any hatred to no one. I don't bring hatred. I don't need to hate on you because you got more. And I got a couple of my sisters that are balling big time. One of them lives here in Atlanta, real dear friend of mine. And I've always looked at this one young lady as an amazing character. Follow her, chat her up, try to make sure that I stay in her presence because she is a blessing. And so at the end of the day, celebrate that. You always want to be in the company of people that are better than you. If you are in the company, you're the smartest one in the room, get the hell out of the damn room and find you some more people.
Find some more people.
You should never be the only in the room that is the smartest one. So if you are that person, you got to be the one that's feeding your ego, you got a problem. If you want to be blessed and move ahead, get in the room with other people who are going to challenge your mind, challenge your spirit, make you read. And I'm going to say this again, make you read. Because one of the biggest things that we don't do, make you read. Learn your craft. Read and research your solutions. Don't look for somebody else to give you the answer, because I'm not. I will give you a roadmap that's going to involve you doing some homework. And homework means reading and learning. And if you can't, now you can come back to me with 50 questions, but read the subject first. And that's one of the things that we have a problem with. We don't want to sit and read. Educate yourself. Doesn't have to be a degree. It needs to be education. And now you have absolutely no excuse. You can be illiterate and have Siri read to your butt. Right, exactly. You can download a book and have it read to you, so you have no excuse about being illiterate anymore.
You don't even have to know how to spell it. You could just say the word. How do you spell?
Exactly. Voice recognition. How do you spell? There's no point of being illiterate any further. So I applaud people when they sit there and they go, well, Twyla, I mean, who got time for? You got time. If you driving in the car, I'll put on an audio book every time I'm in the car. If I got a long trip, I can listen to 2 or 3 audio books every time I'm in the car. Now, then I turn up and put on some Sirius and listen to some Rock the Bells radio and all that good stuff.
You just can't listen to my beloved Napoleon Hill. You can't do him. Not when it's not long trip. Because he is very soothing.
Something that's going to motivate you, that's going to get you some knowledge and make you research a little further. Always.
That's right.
Research.
That's right. That's right. Well, they say leaders are readers. But not all readers are leaders, right?
And reading is in a total different form. It doesn't have to take the form of you picking up a book. It can, like you said, if you don't have time, audio book it. If you don't like to read, audio book it. You know, you've got more options now than you've ever had at your fingertips. Use them for good instead of for bad. You know, people on this social media, I'm not a big social media craze person, but people are all on social media. You would think that they're experts on everything, right? But you got to read. You know, you got to read. It ain't about getting out there and getting how many likes and follows. And okay, that's great. But if you're still illiterate or ignorant to the whole subject of how to monetize that, you ain't really gotten anywhere but a bunch of likes and maybe some free gifts sent to your house.
Right. That's truth. That's truth. Wow. Well, if you have just joined us here on Wealthy Sistas Radio with a View, we are live with my dear, beautiful sister, Miss Twyla Garrett, the serial entrepreneur. I mean, multi-dimensional, as you can tell, just the passion that she has. And I want to just take a few moments just to share with you, to let you know that Wealthy Sistas Radio with a View is now also available on that is blackusa.news. My brother Donnie Glover out of Baltimore. I'm telling you, he is a media mogul and he has put together this powerful platform with all types of information, all types of shows. You want to check it out, definitely go over to blackusa.news right now and check out this fabulous network. Now, Miss Twyla, you've been talking about being unapologetic. We talked about the importance of people understanding and learning how to fail. That it's okay. That that exists. You got to have that in order to
Great.
appreciate the wins for
Failure
yourself.
creates success.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. You learn. We said a couple of weeks back with one of our guests, we were successful at learning what didn't work. You got to know that.
Absolutely.
And two of the things you said was patience. And then the other was acceptance, but patience. If you could just, because again, the generation that we're talking about, we've got to keep talking about this generation because they're the ones that's going to take the mantle next.
I'm
Right?
afraid. I'm afraid. Very
Yeah,
afraid.
I am. I
I
am.
am.
I am.
Here's the thing, you know, social media, internet, it has totally detracted from education. It totally detracted about learning and that cognitive ability to do analytics. We grew up doing math problems and solving math problems. They grow up by scanning the problem with their cell phone and getting the answer. So because of that, that whole piece of their mind is missing. And then those individuals who are stuck doing video games or gamers that are into this whole atmosphere of not that you can't make money, but can you rationally think? Do you have common sense? Do you know how to just socialize? Period. I've had individuals in my company that didn't even know how to address a letter because they never did. Multiple ones don't
Right.
even know how to cursive and sign their name because they never did.
Right. Right.
They don't know how to fill out a check because they never done it. And so it is scary. It is scary. I think Blackboard technologies and all of these things in schools are a sad state of affairs. You need to teach to learn, understand how to do math, basic things. When you talk about STEM, the basics of STEM is mathematics. You need to learn how to do analytics. You know how to do science. You can solve problems. Well, you got to get that. And a lot of this, you can't just use technology to do it because you really need to understand what happens when technology fails, right?
When it
When
fails.
technology fails, when I was in school, we were right on the cusp of computers, but we had to type every paper. So yeah, do I type
Exactly.
100 words a minute? Yeah, when I need to. I can get on it and go. But here's the thing, I know more people now that they never seen a typewriter in their life. They're like, you know how to use, what is that? What is that?
What is it?
Or a calculator. What is that? So it's sad when I think about patience because here's the thing, part of us in my generation, your generation, it's okay to put in the work and wait for the results. Where now everything is instantaneous. You want it now. You have graduates from Howard and Morgans, and they all want six figures right now with zero
Right
skills.
now.
With zero
Right now.
skill sets. Probably worked at McDonald's, Burger King, maybe Walmart, maybe Starbucks. But because they graduate with a degree, they are ready to now earn six figures.
How did
It's
that
not
happen,
realistic.
do you think? How do you,
It's that
where was the
generation that
breakdown?
everybody gets a trophy. That's the generation. Everybody gets a trophy. It used to be losers. I swear to God, I've been to playing fields with these kids, and the kids were horrible players, but everybody got the trophy. Nobody worked harder to improve their skill or their game because, when we lost the game, I played basketball in high school and volleyball. When we lost the next week,
You lost. Right.
we were punished in that gym to get better. It was you will run laps, you will do this, we will do drills, we will do this, we will do that. We didn't like the loss. You will not go out there and embarrass us again. And if we got blown out, man, did we have to do it all over again, right? But here, if you've been blown out, it's okay. At least you came
It's
up,
okay.
you showed up, and you played. Everybody gets a trophy. That's not
And everybody
society.
has a
That's
complex
not
because something happened in their
right.
life, something
Right.
real life.
Everybody has
you
issues.
know, yeah.
Everybody.
I
Who
mean,
doesn't?
the biggest
I
thing.
used to go to
No, go
school.
ahead.
I used to go to school with webs and beating and bruises all on my body, from my mother. But I sat in that classroom and got good grades. Who don't have issues? There's
Thank
many
you. Thank you for
abused
saying
kids
that.
that have gone through things that still showed up to get something done, right? So,
And I
I
want to
mean,
be candid with you.
mhm.
And I want to be, I want to say thank you for saying that,
You're
because
welcome.
that wasn't my experience, right? My mother was a good mother, right? I didn't grow up in what you call a ghetto, right? My father, we had the Jeffersons experience. My
Oh,
father
wow.
moved
What a
us
blessing.
into, you're right, he moved us into this neighborhood that now is not that way, but moved us there when we were like one of the first black families in our neighborhood. This was in the early 70s, like 72, 73. What I'm saying is my father passed away though shortly after we moved there, and everything changed, economically, right? So I know what it is to grow up without. My mother sacrificed to stay in that neighborhood because of the schools and all of that. And she instilled, the upbringing was instilled in me, raised in the church, all of that, to do great, to do this, to, do your best. Like I said, I grew up here when it was that time
Hmm.
it was cool to be smart. And what I'm saying to you, for people like my peers that didn't have that experience that you had, and you see people behaving in the manner that they're behaving, and they say, oh, well, their mother was this, or their father did this. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's almost like if we didn't have that experience, then like our voice is not valid, right? You can't be out here unless you had something. And what's portrayed in the media is not anyone like yourself that made a difference, that said, okay, this is what happened. I love my mother, but this is not who I want to be. I'm going to be something different. You understand what I'm saying? I think you're frozen there. We had a little technical difficulty. It might drop. Can you
No,
hear
I'm
me
here.
now?
Yeah, I can
Okay,
hear you.
okay. Do you understand
Oh,
my
no, I do. I agree.
appreciation on what you're saying? Because it's almost like, am I supposed to feel bad? You know what I'm
No.
saying? That
And here's
wasn't
the
my
thing, and I tell people,
experience,
everybody
you
tells
know?
me, Twyla, I'm so sorry. Why are you sorry? My
Right,
journey is what God gave, right? He
right,
knew how much I could bear. And at the end of the day, I'm okay. My mother did, and
right.
let me say this though. My mother did the best she could do under the
With what she
circumstances that she
had.
was given.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
I don't,
Period.
I have absolutely no hatred. I have nothing but love for my mother. She did what she could do under her experience that she was given. Now, was it abusive to me? It's four of us. Only two of us was really abused. The other two, you would talk to them today, they tell you everything's
Everything was
roses.
fine.
But me and my brother, no. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. Don't feel bad for me because I am okay with my journey. I wrote a book about it. It's called My Mother's Words, How the Most Negative Influence Was the Most, and it's the truth. I
But it's
bless,
not, it's not, and apologize for the interruption. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not feeling bad for I appreciate you saying what you're saying.
Mhm.
What I'm saying is that was your experience and you
It
didn't
is.
use it as an excuse.
It's not.
That's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
used it
You
as
don't
defiance.
allow it to be an excuse. And I'm
That's right.
saying
I used
because
mine
people's
as defiance.
experiences, right, and because people had that experience, right, and they're not doing what Twyla is doing. They're using that excuse to continue to perpetuate some of the
Yep.
things that their parents did, and they are not striving for the excellence. They're not trying to do something
And my
different.
advice to them, Deborah, my advice to them is you got one life. Why are you
Right,
trying to live the life that your parent, your mentor, whoever might have been not so good for you in your life? Why are you living
right,
theirs? At the end of
right.
the day, you need to take ownership. I took ownership as an adult. I recognized what I went through, used it as fuel to go about farther. I could have turned corner left, became a drug dealer with or some drug dealer's girlfriend with 15 babies and all kind of craziness.
Right,
Stayed on
right, right,
welfare. I was on welfare initially. I mean, I could have did all of that, but I wanted
right,
more and I wanted better. And you have to want that. Nobody's
right.
excuse. My background is not an excuse for me to stay in that mess. I don't wallow in it. When I come to visit my dad in Ohio, I stay in the nicest hotel. I visit him and go to the nicest places. And I ride by my neighborhood and I see my same friends in the same place that they were to 30 years ago doing the same thing, acting crazy. That's on them. If you're okay with that, it's fine. But you got to want the mental, you have to have that mental push to push out. And the biggest thing you can do is get out. I tell people all the time,
Exactly.
the best blessing you can do is get you a passport, get the hell out of this country so you can see how everybody else,
How the world lives.
live, so you
Right.
can then appreciate what you had or what you might not, or even how you can strive to be even more and better and get more and better in order to make sure you live a legacy for your generation. Period. You know,
That's
I
awesome.
never will use my background as an excuse, and I do know many, some of my own family members.
But
still
that's
use-
perpetuated in the media,
That's
though.
right.
It's
Oh, it
it's
is.
reasons for them to get more. It's like they get more attention. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They
they
get
do.
more accolades,
They do.
and that's what's promoted, and that's what I was talking about. It's like,
You're right.
how does this get promoted? Like my husband says, the entertainers, the female rappers now, the old rappers. My brain is
MC
losing
Light,
it. MC Light,
all
she
those.
they weren't stripped down and
Nope.
saying the things that you see these
No, but it's
so-called
all
rappers are
sexualized.
saying today. Exactly.
sexualized.
And
It's
that, and
sexualized. But
and then when they
remember
say,
who
well,
that
their
is.
mother wasn't there, and then they say, well, this is what I'm like. That's no excuse, and
That's
that's why I
right.
was saying thank you to you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For being who you are.
You're welcome.
And saying what you say. Yeah, I think it's important. And it's powerful, for you to speak your truths like that. Yeah, this is
Well, thank
is
you.
awesome. Yes, indeed. And you've been talking about, I know you're there at the conference, and you talk about, for people to get in those circles. Like if you are, because we know if you want to see where you are going, look at your 5 closest friends. That's what they say, right? Who you hanging around. That's going to be your income. That's going to be where your status and all of that. And if you are the sharpest blade, as you said in that box, you need to get out of there and go somewhere
of it.
else and
Get out of
stretch
it.
yourself. And I mean, did you do that or did you not do that? Can you
Yes.
talk to us about
I did.
this incredible organization? I mean, I am just so, I was so excited when I saw it. It's Bo. Can you
Yes.
talk to us about that?
Yes.
Congratulations to you,
Thank you.
to
Thank
all
you.
of my sisters. That's been a dream come true to see what you guys are doing.
We
So
have a
can you
beautiful
talk about
delegation here. Yeah, we have
Yes.
about 20 delegates here representing
Oh,
BO
wow.
at the We Make conference. So BO is an organization of 50 African American women that are in business, and collectively our businesses do over 300 million in revenue a year.
Oh
Period.
man, say
We
that
are
again. What?
300 million.
I never heard of you though. You're not on TV.
I know you won't hear us. They don't want people to know who we are, because at the end of the day, they don't think we exist. Well,
Right.
we're here to show you differently. And so part of this is minorities have always been treated differently, especially in banking, especially in business opportunities, especially in construction. They used to tell me, Twyla, we don't have great minority businesses. Well, you don't have them because the system in construction don't allow you to get paid. And then if you can't get paid, then how are you going to pay your employees? And if you can't pay
Right.
your employees, you don't have a business. And then here's the thing, banks won't lend. Banks don't want to lend. Oh, well, that might be difficult. Oh, we don't want to do this. Oh, we got to
Yeah.
have your IPI this. And, come on. At the end of the day, what Bo is doing is we're coming together as sisters to say, look, we fund ourselves. We fund each other. But one common goal that we have is everyone in there, you're doing 300 million, and not one real good bank has ever used our opportunity to loan to us, whether it's lines of credit or whether there's any other things that we needed. I mean, I was in one big bank for years. We did millions. And here's the problem. We couldn't even get a $50,000 line. My credit wasn't at the
Are
end of
you
the day.
serious?
No, it's just, it is what it
50,000?
is. It is called, listen, and then blonde hair, blue eye, walk in and get 2 million. So, you know, you got to recognize who you are, where you're at, and what they're doing, because at the end of the day, the Bold women have come to play, and we're going to be here to stay. And this is my ladies, and I am so proud of them. Our champion is Nicole. She has put this together, and we wanted to make sure people recognize, listen, we are here to do business. We are business women that know how to do business. We are all groomed. We know how to come to the table and be successful. And so Bo has been a blessing for us. This morning, I had breakfast with some of my Bo members, and we're here to tell people we're here to stay and we're here to play. And we want to make sure that we build generational wealth for our 50 families, that we can keep this going in perpetuatory to make sure that it won't stop and that we can continue to move forward. When we're long and gone, Bo will still be standing.
Yes, indeed. I mean, that is incredible. 50, and you said 300 million combined in plus in revenues.
Yeah,
and plus. So we know
400 million.
400 million. And let's talk about some of the industries. So we know
you
you're in construction.
Architects, design, researchers. We have those that's in real estate. We have medical professions, doctors, dentists, you name it. They're all in. They're all in. And they've all successfully grown 7-figure businesses. Successfully. And that's 4+, 7, 8-figure, 9-figure businesses successfully. And still have all of these stigmas of, oh, well, we don't know if we'll loan to you. We don't know if we'll do this. We don't know if we'll do that. We're still going through it. So we're looking to establish our own Bo Fund where we can fund ourselves and bank our own selves, as well as banking other businesses. We have a sister business starter group. It's people who do about $250 a year that we bring on. We're in board members with each other. We're here to make an impact and stay and grow other sisters that look just like us.
That's incredible. You know, you said that they say we don't work together.
We do. We do. You know, here's the thing, here's the beautiful thing about Bo. We're business first, right? So we know how to do business. We know business, and we also recognize things can go awry, and we account for those, and we just know how to do business. We are very strong women that know how to say no, say yes, and then if it does go awry, how to be able to maneuver inside of it. And so at the end of the day, I think the Bo delegation is, we're new, but we're here to stay. And we're here to make sure that other people can come behind us and grow. Hopefully there'll be 50 chapters, just like a WeBank, in the next 10 years. And you'll see us having our own conference that has thousands of individuals represented that look like a sea of us.
Yes, that is true. And I know that is, I mean, it's destined to come. Because
it is. It is.
We did talk about the technology, but there's so many different ways that we can create income, and we can create and generate revenues, and so many different new opportunities that we don't really even think about. You know.
Oh yeah,
and
you're right.
I know
we have some beautiful Bo sisters that are technologists. Amazing. Teresa Harrison, she's a cybersecurity expert. I mean, we have some amazing individuals inside of Bo that are changing the paradigm.
That's awesome. Well, Twyla, once again, I want to say thank you to you for everything that you're doing, your commitment, your passion, and just staying focused and being such an awesome example to all of us.
Thank you.
In closing today, because this show goes by so fast, it's time. I gotta ask you to please.
I would love to come back.
Always have that opportunity. That invitation. Anytime you have anything we need to know about, please, let us know so that we can share it here on the show as well. But with that said, in closing, what would you like to leave our audience with today? We've talked about being unapologetic, letting us in our community get rid of that pride, proving to yourself, competing with yourself, understanding how to fail, that patience, acceptance, acceptance.
Exactly. You have to know, one thing that I make sure everybody leaves with is that sometimes the blessings in front of you and you're afraid to take it. The one thing that I've done is I've always accepted the blessings that have been in front of me, good, bad, or indifferent. Some of them I got in and I knew I needed to pivot. Some of them I got in and I was so overwhelmed and overjoyed because I had no idea it was that heart feeling. But at the end of the day, I never not accepted an opportunity. Seize your opportunity. Know when your blessings are in front of you. And you never know who is in front of you. You know what I'm saying? Always be on your P's and Q's. Always sharpen your knife. It's not even really an elevator speech because you don't need an elevator speech if you have truth and you know where you are and who you are, right? You can just talk your passion and that will come around and be more resounding than anything else you can do. But make sure you're in the game, folks. Listen, at the end of the day, you can't complain about something if you're not in the dance. You can't talk about what you would have, could have, should have unless you tried it, right? So get out there and make a difference. If you fail, write it down, right? Write down the failures, write what happened, and then come up with a course correction plan about what you would do in that event now that you got hindsight, what you use your own battle tactics to move forward. Be in your own mind of being resilient and run your own damn race. Nobody else's race. Run your own race. So that's what I tell you. Make sure that you're out there. Hit me up on Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever. Tell me your story. Show me your journey. I might be one of the investors that want to be in that dance and that race with you. But you got to bring your game and don't be afraid. And most importantly, start by not from where you started from.
Say that again. You broke up. Start what? Start what? Say it again.
Do not be apologetic about owning your truth. Look at your entire journey. Don't cut out pieces and parts because it doesn't look pretty. Only tell the story that looks like it's pretty. Tell the whole story because that journey is what's going to sell you, right? That tenacity of moving beyond tragedy into triumph is what you need, right? Triumph is only going to come when you got that tragedy that you can deal with, accept it, and use that as part of your journey, right? So own that. And please, sisters, more importantly than anything, love yourself. Learn to be in love with you. Treat yourself with flowers. Treat yourself kindly. Make sure you date and court yourself. Because if you date any man that comes into Twyla's life, know they're going to have to do the same or even better. And they're going to have to bring it. And at the time when they do, but when I tell you I'm about to get married, you know this man done brought it. Because at the end of the day, Twyla dates herself. And I have a dating partner, and that's myself. So when I date me and I love me, believe me, whoever comes into my life is going to have to do the same, if not better.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, thank you again, my sister. You heard it
You're
from
welcome.
none other than Twyla Garrett. We're excited to see the major things that are continuing to come forth, and may God continue to bless you and yours, and may He bless you mightily more in this life and super more in the afterlife. So with all that said,
Absolutely.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Also, I want you to get ready for next week. We got another powerhouse. You know what we do here on Wealthy Sistas Radio. Let you check out next week. That's my sister, Miss Wright Brown, out of Baltimore. They were vegans before everybody else. You've been to the restaurant, Land of Kush? Yes, Land of Kush. Yes. And let me tell you how blessed I am. I remember I met her right before she started. She and he was her fiance then. She and her husband before. When you talk about a vision, I mean, he had it clear as day. They knew what they were going to do. And now to see it about 17 so years later, however many years it's been now, to see them is it's just incredible. So she's coming on the show next week.
I can't wait to
talking
listen.
about
I
a lot
can't
of things.
wait.
Yes, definitely. So once again, thank you to everyone for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next week, God willing, and continue blessings to you and yours. Bye now.
Bye-bye, everyone.
This has been another episode of Wealthy Sistas Radio. Thank you for joining us. Catch the full hour encore Thursdays 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern and 24/7 at wealthysistasradio.com. The opinions of our guests do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosts, staff, or partners of Wealthy Sistas Radio.